It's your chance to talk about Broncos. So we're going to talk about yesterday's game. I mean, you don't want to leave Mile High early.
Yeah.
These days.
I mean,
do you think they should have come back that close?
Well, I tell you what, Mitch. At no time during that, I'm going to take this thing out.
Yeah,
too.
I know.
Yeah. At no time during the game did I feel like the Chiefs were going to win.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I
mean, all through the game, you jump up, you score 3 first-half touchdowns, and then you have the ball twice. The Broncos in the second half. The Chiefs hold on to it. Long drives. They got no points out of that 10-minute drive in the third quarter. At no point did I feel like, oh my gosh, the Broncos are going to lose this game. So, in that respect, you're kind of like they're going to do enough to win, and they did for the second week in a row. But there are a lot of things they need to improve on. As we said last night, beating the Colts and the Chiefs at home to start the season, good.
Yeah.
But at some point, like next weekend, you go on the road to Seattle. You play the Patriots later. You play the Cardinals later.
Yeah.
You play the Chargers later, who beat the Seahawks. You're not going to be able to make all those mistakes or do the same things you did in the first 2 games and win those games.
Yeah, especially when you're on the road against Seattle. And it may make it tougher now that we know they lost this last week, and now they're really going to be hungry.
Right.
And they know they got the Broncos coming in. They know everybody's going to be watching. Will Payton, match them. So I think that's going to be a tough road game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. This is where it gets real. Okay.
Yeah.
This is where we're going to find out what's real and what's not when you go to Seattle. I mean, you can lose that game and still make the Super Bowl, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
No big deal. But that'll tell us what's going on. Chiefs, you do enough to win. Colts before that, you do enough to win. That's the bottom line. You a lot of times you play up to your competition and how it's going to go. You go to Seattle and you might play a perfect game and beat the Seahawks, whereas you jump up on the Chiefs, you jump up on the Colts. You don't relax a little bit, but they come back in the second half. You play conservative. You play to win, to not lose the game, and you end up winning. I mean, the Chiefs ended up on the 2-yard line on the last play of the game. So there's that. But you did enough to win. You did enough to stop them. You get the victory. There are 4 teams in the AFC that are 2-0.
So what do you think? I mean, did it make you a little nervous yesterday when you get right down to the fourth quarter? I want to hear from you. So give us a call, 303-831-NEWS. You can contact us on Facebook. If you just search the Denver channel, you can find some information there. The hashtag is Orange and Blue Review on Twitter, and you can find us there. Broncos Fan Rant. You can also use that hashtag if there's something that you want to get off your chest about the game. What do you have there?
Well, I'm a big headlines guy. I love headlines. It's kind of like that's the thing that reaches out and grabs you. And this is part 2.
Yeah, exactly.
In the Denver Post today. I mean, 2 games, both they won by 7 points.
Yeah.
Both times came down to the wire. Peyton Manning last season had 7 touchdown passes in the first game against the Ravens. He's got 6 through 2 games this year. All the tight ends except for one. Demaryius Thomas caught a touchdown pass yesterday, but they're all to tight ends. I don't think Peyton is going to break the records he set last year.
No.
I just don't think it's going to happen this year.
Now, why is that?
Well, he's got 6 TD passes through 2 games. He had 7 through 1 game. Yeah. The first game last year. So he's not going to break all the records this year, I don't think. So they're going to have to do things a little bit differently. Before the season, we thought they were going to do that by playing better defense.
Yeah.
Being tougher. And that has not shown up in the first game.
Do you think the defense is better than it was last year? Because we talked a little about this last week. And some people said, no, it's better. They made a couple stops. But is it better?
Well, it could be. I mean, if you look at yardage, they're giving up as many yards as they did last year. More in the first 2 games, actually. And you said that we got to be tougher to beat the Seahawks. We got to be tougher this year. Toughness doesn't come from making a hard hit or, the Seahawks hit hard and they're tough, but toughness comes from on third down shutting down the other team and getting off the field.
Yeah,
that's tough. Yesterday they couldn't do it. 4 penalties on third down. 4 times the Chiefs got first downs on penalties. They converted 11 third down situations. To me, a defense on third down, that's when you show how tough you are.
And you know what else I saw yesterday that I saw in the game before is this first down run. They get nowhere. At least in the first half, they didn't. It's like they keep trying it, but they haven't figured it out yet.
You know what? Yeah,
work on that.
First play, the first play from scrimmage.
It's
Emmanuel
easy for
Sanders,
me to say. I'm just sitting on my seat.
Pass.
Yeah, it's true. That's
true. But you know what? They're so good. we said this in the Colts game,
Yeah.
and then yesterday in the first
We
drive,
want perfection now, yeah.
that offense is so good. It's just ridiculous. It is just like taking candy from a baby. They drive down and score in 3.5 minutes, on the first drive, and you're like, okay, Peyton throws 3 first-half touchdowns, and then for the first 2 games now, they just bogged down in the second half, and it's kind of like, well, what happened? Why aren't you doing the exact same thing you did in the first half on the scoring drives? They got 3 points in the second half. Granted, they only had the ball twice, but still, how can you be so good in the first half and just kind of shut it down in the second half? I don't know. Maybe teams make adjustments. Maybe it's human nature. Maybe,
Maybe
as I said yesterday,
kinda,
it was sort of an aberration.
Yeah.
The Chiefs held the ball for so long in the second half. Broncos had it twice.
You would think they're almost looking ahead, maybe, to Seattle in the back of their mind?
No, I don't think so.
Huh?
I think probably a lot of fans are looking at it.
Yeah,
saying,
that's probably
Chiefs are
true.
in.
Yeah.
And we got Seattle. We're going to Seattle next week, the Super Bowl rematch.
I know.
I think there may have been some looking ahead there, but I don't believe that professional athletes who are paid to go out and win the game, as much as they are just, they tell us the same thing. One game at a time. Nobody's looking forward. There might be a little voice in the back of their head, but nobody,
they know better.
When they took the field yesterday against the Chiefs, there was nobody saying, well, let's get through this one and get to Seattle.
Because it is a division game. So
Yeah, it was a division game.
It's like playing the Raiders. You never know sometimes what happens, even though we should clobber them. So the defense, Chris Harris said, we won the game on defense today, even though we didn't play to our standards. So even the defense would tell you they're doing well, but they've got some improvements to make.
Well, yeah, look, you can improve every week.
Is that your mom calling?
Let's see, somebody's calling.
Yeah, somebody's calling you. Usually it's my
Who knows?
somebody in my
It
family.
could be Richard Sherman. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Anyway, Richard Sherman. That's another topic. Yesterday, Chargers beat the Seahawks 30-21, and so
Didn't see that
afterwards-
coming. I didn't pick that game.
No,
Did you pick
I didn't
that
either. I didn't either.
Okay. Good.
Afterwards, the Chargers said Richard Sherman got exposed. That they exposed that defense, scored 30 points on him. So Sherman tweeted out yesterday. He goes, LMAO. I don't know, what does that mean? Any idea? LMAO.
I'm looking off to
Anybody? Bottom? But there's an A in there, not a B. What? Oh, I get it. Oh, I got it. Okay, but
Yes.
But anyway, he goes.
My anteater. Yes. Yeah. Whatever. No.
He said, those guys make me laugh. Exposed. He didn't give up a touchdown pass.
Yeah.
Antonio Gates got 3. So anyway, there's a war of words now between the Chargers and Seahawks, but that's going to escalate into Broncos Seahawks at the way the Seahawks talked all last week. But yeah, back to our defense. They did enough to win.
Yeah.
The Chiefs had a 10-minute drive in the third quarter and got 0 points. I love John Fox said that's our defensive ball possession drive.
Yeah,
they get the ball 10 minutes and don't score a point.
Nothing comes of it.
Right, exactly. And then in the final minutes, they stopped them at the 2.
And
let's be honest.
They saved it.
Aqib Talib had a pick 6 to ice the game.
Yeah.
Offsides on the Broncos come back. DeMarcus Ware has a sack and strip. Nate Irving recovers. Game over. 2 huge defensive plays. Both didn't count. One was offsides. The other one was that ridiculous rule that was a forward pass by Alex Smith. Okay, so
penalties.
They did make 2 huge plays in the second half to ice the game.
Right.
But mistakes and a call by the referees brought both those back. And then 4th and 2 at the 2-yard line. Terrence Knighton gets a paw up. They stopped that as well. So
they bats it down.
In their defense, no pun intended.
Yes.
They did enough to win the game, and that's all that matters. But you got to eliminate the penalties. You can't let them convert 11 third downs. You can't give them 4 first downs on penalties. And in the second half, the Broncos offense, they have got to step on the gas pedal. Yeah. You've got to.
Can't let up.
No, on 1 third down play.
You're not going to be able to pull that off tomorrow.
Peyton light into Julius Thomas on the side.
Yes.
Holy cow.
Yeah. It's like, dude, you didn't. Evidently, that was not the right route, right?
Well, no, but that shows the frustration of, hey, this thing works in the first half, and we can't get it to work in the second half. So you got to improve that. But these are all mistakes that if you listen to the guys in the locker room after, hey, we're not going to apologize for being 2-0. We're not going to apologize for winning the first 2 games, no matter how it happened. But we do have to get better. we do have to improve on things. We have to, eliminate the penalties. The defense has to get off the field on third down, or else it's going to be a rough road down the road.
These are the kind of things you can only do during the regular season. I mean, you try it in the preseason, right? You try it in practice, scrimmages, but you're not really going to, exercise all those little nuances of the game unless you're actually hitting hard against a team where it counts.
Well, think about this.
Yeah, now they're going to improve.
Exactly. Think about this. Think if you didn't have the talent to win the game. That would be a problem.
Right.
If you're offsides on a crucial play, that problem can be corrected. So these are things that can be corrected. These are things. They are still, to me, the best team in the AFC.
Good.
And look at San Francisco last night. Oh, they're
Well, how'd you like to be
between Seattle and San Fran? They're the favorites to get to the Super Bowl. New Orleans, a favorite to get to the Super Bowl, is 0-2.
Yeah.
As we said last week, you could be in the other town.
And I have some. Yeah, exactly.
You could be in Kansas City, right?
And I had some friends who are Redskins fans. Who was not injured on that team?
Right.
I mean, it's tough here to be a Skins fan. Last couple of years, anyway.